Hi ladies, welcome back to part 2 of how I bind my paper bag mini albums. Just taking a Tim Holtz D-ring there, and I'm going to create a template, just an example to help me punch my holes in my spine correctly the first time. So I've just taken a piece of scrap chipboard there and measured at the end of each of that straight edge on the D-ring, which didn't work. So it has to be basically between the inside and outside of each of the ends of the D-ring, so the centre of the inside and outside. And so if you'd make a template using the same thickness chipboard that you use on the spine, it'll help you when you actually go and punch your holes in your spine. And this D-ring was very stiff, wouldn't open too far. Okay, so I've got the thickness right, and now just punching a hole, the first hole, just making sure it's in the centre. And I'm positioning this D-ring up the top end of the mini album, only because I feel that when it stands up, the fibres on the D-ring can actually hang down and won't just sort of get scrunched up and sit making a mess. I think it looks neater if they're all hanging from the top, unless you want shorter fibres. So now just I've punched the holes in my spine, and I'm now deciding, well, getting the measurements right for the centre of this sticky back canvas piece. Just measuring it and then drawing the lines. And now taking some repositionable tape and adhering that spine section to the sticky back canvas, just so that it'll hold in place for when I punch my holes through the canvas. So I'm taking my big bite to do this, but you can also use the freehand spring type eyelet setters for this purpose. You don't necessarily have to have a big bite, just a bit easier. So just punching the holes at this stage. And now I'm going to try and tear off the centre section where that spine's going to sit. Tear off that outer covering. And I'm going to leave the covering on the side sections there, just to protect that sticky surface of the canvas. So I need to place the spine down so that I can set the eyelets at this stage. And I'm using We Are Memory Keepers jumbo eyelets in the white. So now I've set the eyelets, and I'm trying to work out how I place the D-ring in there. And I eventually get it in, but it's the wrong way. The circle edge needs to be facing on the outside of the album, so that the straight edge is on the inside. so that there's no bulkiness there. So I have a bit of problem with it. You would think I would have remembered from the previous album. But the holes are positioned as such that I can manoeuvre it and get it round the right way, which I now have done without disturbing the eyelets too much. So now just peeling off the one side of that sticky back canvas covering, and now going to place my front cover on that section. And I'm leaving at least 2 to 3 millimeters space between the spine and the cover, just to give it a bit more room. And it actually adhered fairly straight, so I was happy with that. Now doing the back section. Now got that on, and it's sitting nicely there. And now I have to adhere the paper bag section to the covers, and I use Stampin' Up sticky strip for that purpose. It's actually probably the strongest adhesive and easiest to work with, and it gives the it gives strength to the album and keeps it intact. And just doing one side at a time. And it's a bit awkward to attach it here because the paper bag section is not as full as what I've made the outer covers area, and so therefore maybe I should have put filled up the paper bag section with some photos and that, so that it expanded that paper bag section, which then would have made it easier to adhere to the covers. But I mean, it is possible. I've done it and it's fairly straight, so I'm happy about that. So I've done this binding technique on a paper bag mini album, but it can also be used on various other types of mini albums, such as the one I did recently for Daisy, the vintage mini album. Also, Kathryn from the Scrap Beach has just put out a tutorial on how she puts together a paper bag mini, how she joins all her paper bags to make a mini album, and that was fascinating. I hadn't seen that that put together that way before. Robyn from Enjoy Stamping has also just done a video on placing a D-ring on the spine sections, how she does that, and that was good to watch, so go check her out. I'll put the details down below so you can go check out their videos. So I hope this tutorial has helped you on how I bind my mini albums. It's a bit of a trial and error, but that's how I do it. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.